Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining today's Brain Break. My name is Jennifer Sullivan, and I'm the Principal Advisor of J. Sullivan Advisors. We thank you for joining us for our fourth in this series of Brain Breaks. Today, we are so excited to have a friend and colleague of yours as our speaker, Heidi Carlisle. Our goal with this Brain Break series is to provide a service in these crazy and unknown times. We didn't want to sit back and do nothing. So with each speaker, our hope is that we are providing some information or some inspiration or just a break. In the past, I've said we hope you use these 30 minutes to sit back and relax a bit. But today, I think you're going to want to lean in a little and grab a pencil and take some notes because Heidi's got some great tips for us. Before I ask Heidi to join us, allow me to tell you a little bit about J. Sullivan Advisors, and you can certainly take notes for this part too. We are a boutique hotel consultancy offering business solutions to hospitality owners and full service meeting planning to event professionals. We can help with everything from the entire program to site selection and contract negotiation, to event website and registration development, to execution and being on site as supplemental staff. We can, as I said, do the whole program or whatever piece you need us to do. And I think there are two things that make us different than other meeting planning companies or incentive houses. Like an independent planner, we are high touch but low overhead. However, we're a team. There are 6 of us that work collaboratively together. So if something were to happen to your lead planner, you've got the assurance and peace of mind knowing that someone's going to be available at all times, regardless of illness, injury, or anything else unexpected. I think the second thing that makes us most unique is the dynamic makeup of our team, and I'm really excited about this. So if I can ask the teammates to turn on their cameras, please. We are a mix of seasoned and savvy meeting professionals with Sharon Chapman and Jana Stern, and luxury hotel providers with Michelle Babin, Joanne Peart, Kelly Wood-Stalmer, and myself. As I said, we work together on all projects, so we bring our different backgrounds and experience to every program, making your event that much stronger. Collaboratively, we are all strategists, we are relationship builders, and we are magic makers. We are all passionate about travel, we are passionate about building loyalty through events, and we are passionate about helping other people, serving you, be it your stakeholders, your attendees, or even you. So I will send out an email tomorrow so that we can keep in touch. And when you do need to supplement or support your internal team, please think of J. Sullivan Advisors and let us know how we can be of service. And now it is my pleasure to turn the mic over to somebody else who is equally as passionate about event planning. And many of you know Heidi, as she is one of your colleagues. So Heidi, thank you for joining us today. We have record attendance, so clearly your topic of hosting a virtual award ceremony is timely, and we so appreciate your sharing your knowledge with us. I've loved what you've said about the meeting planning culture being one that supports each other, and just your willingness to give us your time and your expertise on this is really speaks a lot to your character, and we thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm extremely excited to be here. I think that every single one of us on this call is going through times we've never imagined. We never thought we would be here. We're all in-person people makers, people experience makers, and we're always, around people. And this is a different world for us. And so I'm going to share with you today a journey that we have taken at Aflac. As we've all gone through the COVID pandemic, we've had to cancel events, we've had to change things, and we still want to make sure we're honoring people. And we started with one of our large events and having a virtual event for our convention. It's supposed to be in New York, and it was our first virtual event that actually my team didn't even plan and wasn't a part of a lot of it, but got to experience it. And from being in part of it, it's grown into more. And so we took our President's Club, which is what I'm going to share with you today, and we turned it into a virtual experience that I think is spectacular. I think the team put a lot of effort into it. We put a lot of thought process into it. And I'd love to share with you because as Jennifer said, this is about sharing. This is about all of us learning something we've not been a part of. We're great at in-person events. We're great at making things happen on the fly when you're in person because people really don't know what's supposed to happen. Virtual events are a little bit the same, but a lot different. So I'm going to walk through the thought process. I'm going to walk through what we did. I'm going to share with you some videos of entertainment. And I'd love to open it for questions if we have time, Jennifer, afterwards. So, and bear with me, guys. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm not a technical person, but we've tested everything, and everything should work just the way it's supposed to, but technical things are meant to break when I'm involved. Victoria, I don't know if anybody has been to British Columbia, Canada. Our program was supposed to be in Victoria this year, and unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, we did have to cancel. We didn't want to let our qualifiers down. We wanted to still have an experience where they got to be showcased and honored for all the hard work that they had done. And so we took our event and we made it virtual. We took the theming, we took everything about the program and tried to make it as exciting as we possibly can. And with that, let's see if my program is going to advance. This is the process, you know, and a lot of times you think, okay, virtual events, it's easy, I can put it together in a couple of days. You really can't. You really have to plan. So there's still just as many details that go into planning a virtual event as there does an actual live event. You know, we spent a lot of time building a timeline of everything that had to happen and milestones that we had to put in place. The first thing you have to do is kind of decide, what are you going to do? And, you know, I got to thinking, what did we do on site? What would we have normally done in our awards program process? And try to duplicate that as close as possible for our virtual plan. You know, when we're on site, we normally have our the director of sales, we have our president actually get up on stage and kind of honor everybody and talk to them and give speeches. And your executive team and other team members are in the audience and able to mingle with everyone. So we had to take a little bit of a change. You know, we added an additional thanks from our executive team virtually. We allowed them to come on camera and say a little bit to each one of the qualifiers so that they too had that FaceTime and showing their appreciation to everything that was taking place. We added entertainment. You know, we did virtual entertainment, and you know, what is that? What does it mean? And how do you get it across? Is it just playing some songs? Is it putting things in, you know, like I think we all have the standard 3-piece jazz band that plays during your reception and the dinner music band that takes place. But I wanted to make it different. And so I'm going to show you how we did that. We had to honor 200 people. How do you honor 200 people virtually? We created a presentation to showcase all the winners. Now this is where we kind of learned a little bit. We asked for people to send us photos in advance. And you send it out knowing that this is a President's Club event. And a lot of the photos we received, I will share with you later kind of what we had to do and how we had to put these into place. And then we invited more than just qualifiers. So when you're on site normally with your guests, they get one guest, or your qualifiers, you have one guest that gets to come with them. They get to share in the experience, they get to be there on site and kind of root them on and support their family member or, you know, better half. And in this instance, we turned around and invited more than just that. We invited their peers. We invited their family members. Virtually, it doesn't cost anymore. It doesn't cause any disruption. And so those people got to be a part of the virtual awards presentation and be proud of their family, and their family got to showcase kind of their accomplishments. So in doing that, it allowed us to open it up for more sharing and more celebration. Prior to that, we thought about, okay, if they were on site, they would have got a gift. So we thought about, what do you get in Victoria? And we curated a personalized charcuterie board. So if you can see in the upper left-hand corner, that's an actual charcuterie board that they received with some of the knives. The next image you see is actually the logo, and we had the logo burned into the charcuterie board. And within that, we packaged it very nicely in a cute little box, again, that was branded. So we tried to make sure everything was branded. And then inside the box was a nice letter from the president explaining to them that, you know, had we been in person in Victoria, we would have probably ran into one another in a nice trendy Victorian eatery and shared, you know, a glass of wine over this wonderful charcuterie board. And so we gave them tips and tricks on how to assemble the actual charcuterie board. We had all the different components on the right-hand side within the box. So we had the summer sausage and the cheeses and the nuts and some fruits and olives and pickles, and but we took it one step further. So we actually asked for people's dietary needs. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have special dietary needs, whether it be for medical reasons or allergies or just personal preference. And we actually personalized a lot of these boxes to have gluten-free options, to have vegan options. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of fig salami, but it's a thing. And we took and did pickled carrots instead of cheeses for those that had dairy issues. And so we just, again, paid special attention to the gift item that they received so that it's something that they could truly enjoy and partake in. So everybody got this box 1 to 3 days prior to the event so that they can actually enjoy it. We actually had our territory offices then send a bottle of wine to each person as well. So they were getting things from multiple layers of leadership and to be able to celebrate and use this for the actual night of the celebration. And, you know, a lot of people have asked me, well, how did you do it? What was your run of show? So this is just a sample of kind of what we did. We did a welcome and an introduction of who was actually with us on the call. One thing that Aflac is known for is we always say an invocation before an event when we're at dinner. So we added that. We wanted to make sure that we still carried true to our traditional culture and the things that we would normally do on site. So we had one of our executives give an invocation before we started the program. The executive team came on and gave thanks, paying their respects to all the different qualifiers and thanking them for all their hard work and living through the, again, unprecedented times that we haven't had in the past. Our president came on and gave remarks. Our CEO came on and gave remarks and thanks to everyone. And then we broke into the territory awards. So we have 5 territories. And as we're going through the territory stuff, I was like, how do we do this different? So it's not just the same talking heads. It's not just the same blah. We brought in an entertainer that was very, very different. He created a unique introduction that was personalized, and it was pre-recorded, but he did a personalized introduction for each territory. And he did that based on information I gathered from each of those territory vice presidents. So they gave me, you know, different qualifiers they wanted to showcase, whether they had a slogan or motto for each one of their territories that can be showcased, where the people from those territories felt some ownership and some pride about that. And then after we got through that, we took the 5 top awards, which was our board of directors, and we went live into those folks' home. So we allowed them to come on camera to talk to the rest of the qualifiers. A lot of them had their families, they had their children, you know, they're with them, they were dressed up, they were enjoying it, and they got to say a few things. And then we closed it out with a live entertainment. So the entertainer was there with us live, and we used the chat comments for people to say different things. And as they were saying them, the entertainer was singing a song about those things, but never missed a beat. He kept it going, he kept it flowing, and so people really felt engaged. So it was a different level of engagement to be able to have an entertainer that can personalize things on the fly. And I'll show you some videos here shortly about what he was able to do on some of the pre-recorded things. Here are some photos that you can kind of take a look and see kind of, you know, what they experienced. You know, in the upper right-hand corner, this is the welcome and the introduction from our director of sales. We had all the different leaders of the company giving a few thanks. In the top center of the screen is our president giving her remarks. You move down to the middle where you have Andy Glob and then Kelly James, our entertainer. So there was banter back and forth between them and a discussion about things. At the very bottom of the page was the deck that we created that, again, showcased every single winner. We actually got the photos, we put them in order, we gave them their names, we put their states in there so that everybody got to be recognized on screen. You go to the far right, these are some of the top award winners and their families. And so at the very top, was a gentleman and his wife, and you see his little baby in the corner. Well, the little baby had a bow tie on, like he was all dressed up and just as cute as he can be. And people got to experience the real life behind this person. You know, at the bottom again, you had another family there. He had his entire family there. And just to make you laugh a little bit, the little girl in the pink dress, you know, she had a corn cob, and the whole time she was just eating corn and just having a great old time. So it was really showing the true life behind people, and it wasn't so, it was formal, but not so formal that you couldn't enjoy it and really see the true heart of people. Entertainment. So this is where we get into the entertainment. So we looked at an out of the ordinary entertainer. This is somebody that I had live on site in the past with us, and he kind of got lost because he'd always done our after party. He'd never been the center stage. He'd never been, you know, the main entertainment. And as I was going through the design of this program, I thought, okay, who can do this for us? And I thought of KELLEY James, who he's a freestyle entertainer and kind of can pull 5 words and make a song out of it on the spot. And I'm going to show you a little clip of what he's done for 2 of the territories and what he did. And so you guys don't think it's crazy, the clothes he has on. The territories actually sent him items from their territory. So in the first video I'll show, he's got a shirt on that says Octus. And that is the theme for our Southeast Territory. And so as people were watching him sing this song and they see that shirt, they connected with it. And in the next one, he actually, you know, a few other items, he tied it in. So I'm going to show you some video right now. And again, forgive me if it goes awry. I'm going to do my best in getting it to pull up. Oh, look, it's working. So this is a first.
Winners win because they choose to win. You choose to care, you do it again and again. Southeast, your TVP. Jesse tells me he looks like Jeremy Renner. I don't know, but you're the biggest, let's go. And the baddest, yeah, we all know. And you know you never quit. You got Kyle Rice, good hair, and CrossFit. Rocky and Eddie, most PC qualifiers, yeah. And we know we got Maria and Carla in South Florida. Chris Graham, Weird Monkey, yeah, because we don't know why, actually. Keith Bell, Candace Jackson, William Warlaw, they tell me you got a lot of legends in the Southeast, yeah, you know you are repping. So I gotta say, let's see on this screen, everybody, here's your TVP, this is Jesse.
So that was our Southeast Territory, and I'm going to switch it over and give you a little bit of taste of our Northeast Territory, who again sent a few props and had some crazy things and incorporated it into the actual entertainment.
Beating every territory by double digits. 66 qualifiers, the Northeast did it. 5 years in a row. You are numero uno, let's go. Mike Bender, Simone Hurst, Terry Hickok, Matt Evans, Brandon Royce, no you won't stop. Stay at home superstars is what you are. You will win together, winners when you're doing great so far. Trevor Fennell, Patrick Hardy, now let me break it down into these teams. #1 in quota, yeah, you feel me? Shout out to TPT, the people's team. #1 qualifiers, ooh, let's see who we got, yeah, that's the money team. Only territory to make quota though. 66 qualifiers, yeah, let's go. We know Kim Meyer, that dude is a beast. Everybody make some noise for the great Northeast.
There you go. That shows a little bit about how we personalized the entertainment, how we really made it so that people were engaged and connected and really looked forward to hearing their names or something about their territory. He ended it with, again, you know, pulling the chat information in and really getting people just energized. Now, lessons learned. I can tell you that, you know, every program that you do is not going to be perfect. You're going to learn things every time you do it, and I did. So when we sent the email out to each of the qualifiers asking them for photos, we made it very clear this is a President's Club event. We want to honor you. We're going to need a photo. We had people sending us selfies from their car where you could see the reflection in their sunglasses in the passenger in the car. We had them sending, pictures on a surfboard or literally in front of a Porsche photo, not even the car. So we had to do a lot of stalking at LinkedIn and Facebook and trying to get other pictures when we couldn't get them to, respond and give us something else to work with. And so again, maybe I can have a little bit more dialogue with people in advance, or maybe a little bit, don't do this, do this. When mailing out all of the charcuterie boxes, we asked for home addresses and we thought people gave us their home addresses, and some did, but then they didn't tell us that they weren't staying at home. So when we had the charcuterie boxes delivered, they might have been in a whole nother state because they're quarantining away from their home. So that was a little bit of a lesson learned for us. Rehearsals, extremely important. One of the things that we learned is that, even if you tell people, hey, we're going to control the camera for you, we'll unmute you, we'll mute you, we'll turn your camera on, we'll turn your camera off, they kept doing it themselves. So as you communicate with people and as you do things different, it's very important to have full rehearsals. You think you know it all. And, one of the things we made sure of is when we go through this, is setting the expectation from the executive level and letting them know that, guys, our plan is to be perfect, but not everything is going to be perfect. It's okay to not have perfection because it shows it's real, and people were really engaged and they actually really had a great time. We have another one tonight at 5 o'clock, so we're super excited. I'm excited to get, on that one and see all the hard work the team has put into it and theming the gifts, and we have some different entertainments. So again, we're learning with each one. I thank you for your time. I would love to answer questions if I can. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Are there questions? I mean, I hope you've learned something. I've gone through this pretty quick, but it's something I'm passionate about, is just pulling things together and making it unique. We all make experiences on site, and it's a little easier when you have a destination and different things to work with. And how do you make a virtual experience different each time? So we're learning, but we're having fun doing it.
Heidi, thank you so much. We do have questions coming in, so I will just read them to you and then you can answer them if you will.
Sure.
The first question is, what platform did you use for this? Zoom, WebEx?
We actually used a platform that we already had in place. It's called BlueJean, and it's very similar to Zoom. So it's extremely user-friendly. It was something that we already had internally, so it was something that we could leverage easy. Now, I am spoiled that I have an event production team that's able to help us with the technology, because as Jennifer, as you've seen me going through this technology, I'm not the greatest technological person, but we had some great support internally with BlueJean.
Thank you. Second question, did you do a survey?
The survey is out. So this event just took place just a little more than a week ago. And so the survey is out. Great thing is we got instant feedback. We had a lot of social media posts. We had a lot of people taking pictures of their charcuterie boards, taking pictures of the screen, writing letters to the presidents, but our actual compilation of the survey results has not come back yet.
Thank you. Roughly how much was the wrapper?
So I have a great relationship with him. He's under $10,000, I can say. For what we did with him, it was under $10,000. So it just depends, what's going on with him and kind of where we're at. But he is very easy to work with. He's awesome. And we had a lot of fun doing it with him.
Great. How long was the entire experience?
So we initially planned with 200 people. We planned on this being an hour and a half, and we were able to do this in an hour and 5 minutes. So we didn't keep people very long. One of the things that we did do that was, in addition to the awards virtually from our perspective, is each one of the territory vice presidents did a 30 to 45 minute reception prior to the live virtual awards that we did. So they actually came on and did their own, Zoom or BlueJean platform and did their own recognition prior to us doing it on the national level. So that was a kind of an added thing that we weren't aware of that they did on their own, but it really added to the experience.
Great. We have a two-part question here. Were your top leaders in a centralized studio or at their homes?
No, everyone was at their home. Our leaders are extremely cognizant of leading by example. And you know, we're asking everyone to work remotely and work from home, and they were each in their own home. And so we had talked about bringing them all into a giant studio and kind of, you know, social distancing and letting them do it. And they're like, no, we had some in multiple states. So
Wow.
they weren't even in the same state.
Okay. How did you emphasize the importance of the rehearsals to your leaders, or did they not take part in the rehearsals?
You know, our leaders are very good about helping us put these things on. Now, they've done these things a lot on the virtual call. So the leadership, as far as rehearsals with them, they only rehearsed 30 minutes prior to the actual event going live. The other rehearsals took place with the qualifiers. They're the ones that we need the most help from. So we did 2 different rehearsals with those folks, and then we did 2 different dry runs with the entertainer. So we had multiple levels with different people, but everybody has been engaged and excited about it. You know, they've all been willing, you know, and even getting on their schedules, they're like, I'll make time, I'll make time. And so it's been very refreshing that everybody wants to engage.
Great. That's clearly speaks loudly to your culture there.
Yeah.
Another question, did you have visual reinforcement of the names that were sung, or was it video only?
So the names, when he was singing the songs, the actual territory vice president would then, when he introduced him and said, this is your territory from the Great Northeast, then we went live to that territory vice president. So just as I'm speaking live to you, we would go live to that territory vice president. They're all in different states, but we went live to them and let them give remarks. And then we went through the PowerPoint presentation of all the winners' names. And so it gave their names and which state that they were from and how many times they had qualified for the trip. So it was a lot of work in advance, putting the PowerPoint together, making sure it all was in line, in place, correct name, correct faces. So that was probably the biggest lift in this piece, was putting the PowerPoint piece together.
I bet. How many people attended, knowing you expanded your audience?
So we had 200 winners that we were honoring, and we had 570 people on the call.
Wow.
So we had extended families and peers that came onto the call, and they were able to, you know, talk in the chat, and they were rooting people on and saying congratulations and I love the entertainment, or, you know, hello to the president. So everybody was very engaged, and throughout the whole program, we kept that many people on the call.
That's amazing. And what time did you guys start the program?
So obviously we had winners from every state in the continental United States, and we actually started it at 5 o'clock Eastern. And so the Pacific Coast obviously started theirs a little earlier with their, you know, celebrations and stuff, but it was 5 o'clock Eastern that we went, and it went till, just like I said, a little after 6, and the engagement was great.
Okay, this other question kind of comes on the heels of that. What were your thoughts in terms of time zone considerations?
Well, we wanted to make sure that it was an event that everybody could be a part of, and everybody working virtually from home, we knew they were going to be home. And we took into consideration 5 o'clock so that you didn't have people too late into the evening. And then we didn't want it to be too early for those if they wanted to celebrate and have a glass of wine. So we kind of, you know, it was still 12 o'clock or I think it was 2 o'clock on the Pacific time frame when they were doing it. And we didn't have any problems. It seems to work out well for the group.
Okay, great. It looked like there was another entertainer, Andy Glaub. What was his role?
So Andy Glaub is our director of sales. So he was the MC through the whole program and kept a lot of the engagement with the entertainer and our territory vice presidents, and he would introduce each one of the executives. So he is our face of every event that we have, and the field obviously is engaged with him. But he kept the engagement going with the entertainer, who would then introduce the territory vice president. And then there was some banter back and forth between the territory vice president and the director of sales. So it was just like we were in person, you know, even though they were, you know, miles and miles and miles apart, states apart, there was still interaction just like they were standing on stage.
Okay. And did you have any role in the videos, or was everything live?
So the videos, there was a live video in the beginning. So after we did the introduction of the executive team and our president spoke, Kelly James came on live and did a song. And then each of the territory vice president videos were recorded. And then at the very end, we did live entertainment. So we had a mix of pre-recorded and live videos.
Wow. And who coordinated the show flow?
Me.
Are you available for hire? That's my question.
You know, this is what my team does. You know, we're very good at putting a program together. We're very good at execution. We're very good at timing. We've been doing this, you know, I've been doing this almost 30 years. And so you know how the program is supposed to go. And you know, the harder part was doing it virtually is like, how do you add that spice into it? How do you give it some life so that people want to stay on versus, oh, here's a PowerPoint, here we go. You know, so we just added those little things.
Mm-hmm. And they certainly add up, don't they?
They do.
Creating
They
an
do.
experience, a memorable experience.
Yeah, that's our job.
Yeah. Are you able to tell us the total budget-ish?
You know, with the gifts and everything, I think we were right under 30,000, you know, and the event itself, had we been on site, would have been well over that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that wouldn't have even paid for a cocktail reception, I don't think, you know, if we were on site.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't start off with a certain dollar amount budget-wise. It was like, okay, guys, how can we make this special? This is our creme de la creme, the top people that we do this with. We're not flying there. We're not paying the production. We're not paying the hotel. And it's not like we tried to go hog wild and just blow the bank. We wanted to be very respectful, but also create an experience, you know, and we've done this with less money on different events. It just depends. I think the gifting is the most important, the most expensive piece of this is the gifting aspect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How was the technical side communication handled? Was there direct communication with talent?
I had this phone right here and I was texting. I'm like, okay, turn that camera off. Okay, mute so-and-so. You know, we have a couple of, like I said, the event production guys, and we had 2 people together that were in one of our conference rooms in the office that were running the presentation. And so they were obviously social distance, but one was calling out the names while the other was running the presentation. So those people we needed to have connected. They needed to stay together. So as the name was being called, they were advancing the slides. And then the actual guys running the technical aspect of it were not anywhere near any of them. And so it was all part of us, you know, when we went through rehearsals, it's like, all right, here's the cue to do this. All right, here's the cue to do this. And then this needs to play. So the show flow was very important during the rehearsal aspect. And then, you know, making sure that, like Andy was part of a lot of the rehearsals, our director of sales, because he keeps the things going. And if there was a technical issue, which we didn't have any technical major glitches, he could keep talking, you know, and it doesn't mess anything up. So you have to make sure that there's somebody that's part of the show that if something does go wrong, they can talk, they can do something. You know, we had one of the microphones on one of the attendees that we could never get it to turn on. You know, so she's being showcased and she's just talking, but there's nothing coming out. And so we were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But it worked, you know, and we never did get to hear her. So what they did is the next week on one of our national sales calls, they brought her back on and just let her talk, you know, so she still had that opportunity to talk amongst her peers. It just didn't happen that night. So again, not everything goes perfect.
Mm-hmm. I think it's all in how you recover from the mistakes that sets you apart. And well done.
Absolutely.
We still have questions coming in. Are you all right?
Yeah,
hanging on? Okay.
Did
you have any issues with buffering, specifically with the performer?
So I think there was 2 people within the chat that said that the volume was too low, but it was a setting on their computer. And so we did make sure that the technical people that we had, and even some of the qualifiers, were helping people in the chat box. So when someone said, hey, I can't look, or my video's frozen, or my this, people were giving them tutorials in the chat of what to do. Everything from our perspective went well, but yes, there are things that are going to buffer. And it's everybody's internet bandwidth is different. So the experience might not be on the presenter side, but it could be on the end user side. And so that's where, you know, not everybody's going to have the same experience because their bandwidth might not be the same. So we did have a couple that had volume issues. We had a couple that said, hey, it's stuck. You know, they're like, oh, never mind, it's going good. You know, and I think in the virtual world, those are things we're going to continue to experience.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay.
Right. It's the human side of it, as you said.
Yeah.
We do have a request here. Would Heidi be able to share the video by request?
Share which video?
I don't know if that's the video of this presentation, maybe your deck.
If they want to connect with me offline, I can get a little more information, and I'm happy if you want to give out my email address with that person.
She's clarified the video from the actual event.
I have the video. I probably have to get permission to share it, so I'll have to see if I can share that outward. But yeah, we do have it. It was recorded, and we sent it to a couple of those that couldn't actually be live with us, and they got to experience it. But to share it out of the company, I probably need to get some permission on that.
Understood. I'll follow up with everybody on that in my email to them. So, are there any other questions that y'all have for Heidi? I think you've done an amazing job.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, if you can take away one piece of information, it's awesome. I think I do the same. I get on every Zoom call I can or webinar that, you know, can help me pull one little thing that would inspire to bring me to a new experience. And that's all I'm willing to do. So.
Yep. Well, we've got the praise coming in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you. This was great. And another question, are you taking these qualifiers to a location next year? That's probably, like, do you have your crystal ball?
No, I have a crystal ball, but it's blank. It is not saying anything. We do have a trip planned for next year. And my goal, as everyone else's, is we're going ahead. We're moving. We're going. We got to do this. But only time will tell.
Yep. Got it.
Only time will tell.
Heidi, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Heidi has graciously allowed me to share her contact information tomorrow in the email. So she said, if you have other questions, please reach out. No, she's managing a team of 25 and has these events ongoing. So she'll get back to you as soon as she possibly can. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Donna Costa. This was her idea. So she told me you had spoke about this and she wanted to hear more. So I love getting topic suggestions from the planners. If there are other things that you want to learn about or hear from your peers about, please just let me know. Our goal is to continue this weekly series. Right now we have speakers lined up through July, but we can certainly be flexible and add in a speaker if it's something timely like this was. As I said, our goal with this series is to be of service, and so let me know what we can provide for you. Next week we do have another fabulous speaker lined up. Many of you know Lynn Lee. She was in the DMC world for 30 years and always very interested in Feng Shui. She is now a licensed practitioner in that, and she's going to join us for a brain break to help us bring alignment and fulfillment to our spaces in our homes and our offices and our landscaping as well. So look for that invitation. Feel free to share it. The more the merrier. And as I said, if we can ever help you in supplementing your staff or supporting your staff, please just let me know. We thank you for being with us today. Everyone have a very good evening. Bye-bye.